People who lost their virginity after age 35, or never did. What's your story? I was 35. Fat, no self-esteem, the usual story. I had long since given up on actively looking for dates. I was comfortable being single and had made peace with my life. Then I just happened to meet someone on a bus while on vacation and we clicked. Did the semi-long distance thing for a couple months before properly hooking up. The first time was, predictably awkward. She knew what she was doing though, and I've since figured things out. Practice makes perfect and whatnot. Eventually she moved in with me and we got married. Still are. It's not a super interesting story or anything, but you asked for it. I'm in the, or never did, camp. Not much of a story to tell. Just too much of a recluse and lacking self-confidence. So, there was never an opportunity, and a few decades later here I am. 48 years old here. Never had anything to offer, zero self-confidence, face like an orc. Never even attempted to attract a woman, never got further than polite conversation. Some people are very into orcs. I mean, Fiona fell in love with Shrek. Girls think I'm gay and gay people think I'm ugly. My ex was a 35-year-old virgin, I was 39 at the time. So this would have been about 8 years ago. It just never happened for her. She always thought there would be plenty of time, and next thing you know she was 35 and I was her first boyfriend. I understood this coming in, it came up as a conversation before we became an exclusive couple, and it didn't bother me for the most part. After we were exclusive for a month or so I thought we would get to at least a PG-13 relationship, under the bra over the pants, and she said how much it made her feel like a whore. I stuck in for a while, but that was nearly a deal breaker for me. There's one thing to be cautious, but if you're that uncomfortable with sexuality, then I started to get concerned. Boy was I wrong. About a month after that she was comfortable enough that I performed oral on her. I was content with the thought that this would be our sex life for the next year. A week later she wanted to reciprocate and boom off to the races. Without giving ungentlemanly details, let's just say the next 3 months were her wanting to experiment with everything that she felt was missing. 29/M I had so much anxiety about myself and low self-esteem issues that it took until August last year for me to even go on a couple of dates. Ultimately it didn't work out. She didn't want to be with someone who had a lot of learning to do, and frankly with the bustle of work/hobbies/socializing and self-care, I kind of forgot about pursuing a relationship until now. I had a work colleague who at age 42 is still a virgin. Thing is, she wanted to have sex, she talked about it all the time. She wasn't religious, she didn't want to be married first, she didn't have any reason to not have sex, she just said it just never happened for her, and then as she got older and older it got harder and harder because potential partners thought it was weird. She's a pretty attractive woman too, so. Edit, to clear things up, I'm also a woman and have no D to offer her. I have a friend like this. He's 45. He had an inane list of criteria a woman must meet before he even dates her. It may have been plausible when he was younger, but now I wish him good luck. LOL. I lost my virginity at 31. I was generally uninterested in dating in my early 20s and spent most of my time smoking pot and playing video games. In my late 20s it became apparent I had no skills trying to attract the opposite sex. I went on and off again trying to meet someone using dating apps, but most women lost interest in me after the first date and the rest after the second or third. I had given up on dating again when my sister set me up on a blind date with someone her husband knew. We surprisingly hit it off. Fast forward a few months and the time comes to do the deed. I was understandably nervous. There are things about sex no amount of porn can prepare you for, namely the smell, taste, and mechanical execution of work that is sex. The first time was awkward, but it got better. I must not have sucked at it as much as it felt like I did because we've been married for 6 months now. 42-year-old virgin. Always been an introvert, never got out much, now I fear I've just missed my chance. Edit, wow, this kinda blew up. For those curious, comments seem to be split pretty evenly between, you still got time, man. Just put yourself out there and it'll happen. And dude, just get a prostitute and get it over with. And yes, I have seen that Steve Carell movie. Stop asking about my future. We will be powerful wizards. I spent too much time studying while in school and forgot socializing was a thing. This now lead me to my current predicament where I have a high-paying job but no one I could call even a friend, let alone a so lol. 30-year-old male virgin. Never happened for me in college, despite being sociable and having a pretty large group of friends/acquaintances and being in the type of environment where it should have been easy. I kind of just assumed it would happen at some point, maybe I would have been more aggressive if I knew what was store for me lol. Then for most of my early/mid-20s was suffering through unemployment/underemployment mixed with the accompanying depression which made me very uninterested in pursuing relationships, was more concerned with staying alive. Got my first steady 9-to-5 job at 26 but kept putting it off because I was convinced I needed to make more money, establish myself, get my ducks in a row, etc. before anyone would be interested in me. And now at 30, I'm absolutely terrified to put myself out there because I know the virgin thing will come up at some point and I know it's not normal, unless maybe you're religious. Like just imagining having to explain it to someone my age after 2 to 3 dates, yikes. So yeah, good times. Edit, just wanted to say thanks for the kind words and different perspectives. It's encouraging to hear other people's experiences. I definitely think I'm getting a bit too in my head about this, which I have a tendency to do. I'll probably make the decision about whether to disclose or not on an individual basis. I know even if it might make some hypothetical girl uncomfortable, it's not the end of the world and there will be others for whom it's not a big deal. Just have to put myself out there more. Good thing there's a pandemic going on. I lost my virginity at 35. I've always been overweight and a constant fear of rejection kept me from dating most of my life. Almost exactly a year ago I just said fuck it and downloaded Tinder. I went on a few dates before meeting the love of my life. She was only a little more experienced than I was, and never showed signs of surprise or made me feel weird about being so inexperienced. I intend to propose on the anniversary of our first date. For the people posting saying their chance has passed, it's never too late. Edit, wow, my first gold, first silver/award in general too. Thank you all for the kind words. This made my day. Now I need to hope the surprise proposal doesn't get spoiled from her seeing this. EDIT2, an apostrophe. I'm aware that I'm a neckbeard and don't have anything to offer, that sums it up quite well. F32, currently virgin. Religious background, that is what has led to this situation. Living in a small city, don't want to use Tinder here, and just have not met anyone yet, non-existent social life. I had a trip planned next weekend to another country to see someone and very likely to have sex with them. Not going to happen now because of Corona. I can reschedule my flights, but he won't be in that country after this month. 29-year-old F here. I'm pretty sure I'm asexual or something. Even as a teen, I never put sex up on a pedestal, it was never something I absolutely needed to get right now, even with me having hormones. Probably doesn't help that I'm introverted as hell, antisocial, ugly, and have zero self-esteem, but in all honesty sex has just never interested me. TLDR, I just never cared enough about it to try to get some. Not me but a guy at work. Never had a girlfriend, never got jiggy. But not for lack of trying. Loved his chem girls, but we eventually convinced him to hire a hooer. He didn't hate it. Why would you at 35? Just 5 more years and you'll become a wizard. 30 is wizard. 40 is grand wizard.